He's sick.
I'm sick, and it's been a long day.
And also, last week, Sebastian tore up. He's destroying my plants, and he's running around peeing on things, and he's just so destructive. So we decided to wait until Sadie got home to do a video, and they are just fighting.
And then because we waited till the kids got home, it got wrapped into all this stuff around dinner, and then the next thing you know, it's
really late.
It's Sunday evening. Yeah, Sebastian's just being so destructive.
Yes. And there's a tire upstairs that he loves, and I was afraid he'd roll it down the stairs or something.
Yeah, it's true. I about the MG. So the MG, for those of you who care, all three of you, it's the MG sat in the woods for 36 years. Well, the things that are closest to the ground when a car sits in the woods for 36 years are the wheels and the hubs. And the rims on the MG are rough. They're rough. I still haven't been able to get one of them off the sliding spline hubs, and so I was having to drop money on like tires and tubes because they're tubes with the sleeve on the inside, and potentially new rims because the rims are all jacked up. Some guy in Denver on Craigslist was like, he's some MG enthusiast, and he was going to Style Mags, and so he was getting rid of his basically brand new MG genuine original 5 wheels with tires, fully pumped up, already balanced, with all brand new hubs. It just didn't want them anymore. And so I had to go and get them. But Sebastian was super excited about the tire. Super excited. And this guy, his garage was immaculate. And he has these 5 tires. They're literally clean. Like, you can touch the outside of the tire and the rim and everything, and your hands come out perfectly clean. I've never seen it. So one of the wheels complete wheels is upstairs, and Sebastian's jumping on it.
Yes.
He loves it.
He loves it. It's his lovey.
Anyway, well, let's do the wrist check.
Okay,
so we're doing a wrist check. It's I misunderstood. I thought Sabrina didn't want to do one, but we are doing one, so we're doing one.
Yes, we're doing one. It's because I was on the phone.
Am I going first?
Yeah, you go first.
I am still wearing my Sinn 104. And again, I really like it, especially like the little bit of a blue cast. It just makes the dial surface just look like it's not there, so like the white hands are just rotating in space. Very happy with it.
And as for me, I just started to get wacky. There we go.
Oh gosh, you're wearing that one again. Cool.
Yep. I looked at it, I said, I haven't worn that in a really long time, so
cool.
Now I'm wearing it.
I have to remember, I want to actually look for a solid replacement movement for that one. This one runs, but it has so many issues that, I don't know, maybe maybe I just need to go through it again with a clear mind.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely, I am having fun. So, yeah, I mean, I'm still very happy with it. Very happy with it. I saw another Sinn, though, that somebody was talking about on Reddit. It's one I've never heard of. It was a limited edition Sinn 155, and it looks like a remake of the Bundeswehr pilot chronographs. Really super cool.
Time for you to put in a picture of one.
Oh, I should put in a picture of one. So cool. The only thing is, I've never seen one in person. They're 43 millimeters. They're pretty big, but
you would never wear it.
It's so cool.
You would never wear something that big.
It's so cool.
Okay, I don't know what it looks like.
You know?
They know. I don't know.
Oh well, here I am. Let's get to it.
Okie dokie. From Stephen Moore. Hi, Spencer and Sabrina. Love the vids. Enjoy every Saturday morning with my morning coffee. I don't know why people watch us, but thank you. So, question for you. Like you, Spencer, I'm a huge fan of the 60s to 80s Seiko divers, and I have found one or two of them. The dive cases don't seem to change a great deal from the 6306 right through to the 7S26 variants in the 1990s. There seems to be a little difference in the cases after the 6308 7040. Could you do a run through of the case variants? Also, I'm a fan of the 6119 6023 and I'm looking to add a black dialed model you built for me with a gold dial model. And looking for the 6023 dial colors, I keep coming across 6119 6020 watches. Is this the same watch but just a different region code? If so, which region does the number 3 refer to?
Okay, well, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to break, and because it's easier for me to show the answers to both those questions. Okay, so on the subject of cases, so I've got some watches out of the junk drawer. So basically a 6309, even though this one's been modified, all kinds of aftermarket parts, and it's been bee-blasted. And this is a 7002 7039 transitional, which is the same bezel function as the 7S26, but it's earlier style in that it has the crown at 4 instead of 345. And these are stripped cases of the same thing. This is a 6309 slim case, which is identical to the 7548 slim case, the very same. And this is, again, this is another 7002 7039 transition case with a crown at 4. The biggest difference is the split. When they went from Sua to Daini, there's the change in how they did the crowns. So here, instead of having like a standard 6309, 6105, whatever the heck crown like this, with an internal seal inside the crown itself, they instead went to the far simpler but just as effective external stem crown seal here on the, it goes in that little, darn it, that little channel right there. That's where the seal is. And so instead of having to replace crowns and do all of the kind of stuff, you just replace one simple single itty bitty little O-ring. I mean, it's only one seal in the 6309s, but it's inside the crown and it's bigger and it's more material. This method works fine. It works absolutely fine, and that's what Seiko does now. They don't use this stuff at all. Even their more modern higher end divers use this kind of stuff. I mean, this is one of the new SRPs, just a case, and there it is. There's the seal around the crown, and there's that same system. When they went to this system, they did not look back. Okay, now the other question is 6023 versus 6020. Okay, the differences, one of the main differences is that 6020 seems to be early. The 6023 is later, and it has the standard Seiko caseback. This has what's called the blister caseback. But the other big difference, look at the crown. Smooth surface, notch. These ones use a bigger, older crown with an internal seal. Like those 6309s have an internal seal. The crowns for these early 6020s are big and they have that internal seal. Whereas on these, the seal is on the stem. Again, like that, in that little notch. So Seiko at this point had already basically sort of prefigured this transition was going to happen when they did this. So you've got the early notch crown, and then the later non-notch. I don't know. They're cool. That watch is original, never been restored. That was neat. A neat watch. I kind of dig the notch crowns. I think it gives some sort of more of an interesting look to them. But you want to see the effects of age. Look what happens when you beat a watch to death. It started out looking like this, and now it looks like this. But this is also 6020. Note the notch case. Wacky. And that's what's up. The only thing I would add is that I don't know what 3 means. 0 means Japan or world. 1, I'm not quite sure. People seem to think that it might be relating to watches that are for the U.S. military, and there's a few things that might lend to that, but I don't know it's true. 2 is like Australia, Southeast Asia, that kind of thing. 5 is North America. 7 I often see in America. 9 is definitely North America. I don't know, but a 3, that's a mystery.
Well, maybe somebody knows. If you know, comment it, please. From Razvan Radu. Well, after watching this video several times and holding off being afraid it is too big for my wrist, I finally got a first-gen Stargate. Love it. Has the best of a number of Seiko divers, making it unique. Monster hand, sumo profile, MM300 or 300 millimeter lugs, 6105 markers, its own bezel. Love it.
They're a really unique thing, and I'm amazed that so many people sleep on them, and they just, I mean, I don't even...
sleep on them?
Well, I mean, they don't, the people don't talk about them, they're sleeping on it, honey. They're not awake and pushing them. It's just one of those things, like, I don't even see wrist checks with people wearing them, and I'm like, am I weird? Anyway, I'm glad you enjoy yours.
From Walter Alvarado, another great video, SNS. Spencer, your loyal followers are familiar with your Seiko collection. We have seen the videos. You are synonymous to the Seiko brand as stripes on zebras. Now that you have added the Sinn, can you make a video of your non-Seiko collection? It would be an interesting video. Cheers.
Well, I've already made that video, and so I'm going to insert that video here. Hopefully it is entertaining or useful in some way. Okay, so in answer to the question of what Swiss watches do I have, here they are. I have more than this, but these are the ones that are actually in my boxes that I actually wear and rotate through. I don't know. This one is my Sinn ST103. I really like this watch, and I have to thank Sabrina because a couple times I wasn't wearing it. I felt guilty about having owned it, and I was going to sell it, and she told me not to.
No, because I really like it.
Yeah, so this is a really good watch, and I've serviced this watch, and it's nice. I changed the bezel. It's supposed to have I have the original bezel. It's supposed to be all crackle finished, black all the way around, but I thought it looked a little, I don't know, it just didn't suit it. So this is one of the older style countdown bezels that I ordered directly from Sinn. It's a really nice watch. I always forget about, I should wear this one more often. This is my Speedmaster.
Everybody knows about those.
Yep. I had one of these before, way back when we lived in San Francisco, but I sold it. And then I was like, why did I do that? And then I found this one, which is, gosh, I think it's from 2007. And I serviced it myself, got it for a good price from a person in Canada. And it's on one of Uncle Seiko's beads of rice bracelets with the end links that he had made after the set I customized for this watch. That was my brilliant idea, was to fit one of these to this, and I went into that. If you hear screaming, by the way, that's because my children fight. This was my birthday watch from a good number of years ago, Mega Speedmaster Mark IV.
Because for his birthday, I say that he can buy whatever.
I need to go through and service this again. I serviced this probably 4 years ago, and I want to just service it again. But this came in, and it's all original. I mean, I haven't done anything to this cosmetically. I just serviced it. They're cool watches, and they have not only a running seconds here, but they have a 24-hour indicator dial there, which I like. Those are neat. This is my poor man's leisure. Bought this from a guy on Reddit, and I was wearing this a lot back in the past. I haven't worn it so much recently, though I should. There's some reason why I end up not wearing this.
Why is it a poor man's leisure?
I'm sorry, it's a poor man's Hoyer.
Ah.
Poor man's Hoyer. These were made by Hoyer, and basically the only difference between this and the Hoyer Pasadena is the name on the dial.
Oh, okay.
And so people are like, I mean, you can spend a ton on a Hoyer marked one, but you can get one of these 7500s for a lot less, though they're rising in value a lot. These two watches came from my great uncle, my mother's uncle, and they were both destroyed watches in his sock drawer. This one he filled complete with water and just let it rust to pieces. This one he got in some kind of accident with. When I got it, it actually had blood on the case, and you can see that this lug is bent. Also, a lot of the moisture had gotten in and discolored the dial surface, but And this one was just a block of rust. And so I went through all this work to put these back together and keep them going. This one I'm especially proud of. 1016. It's very much like a Yima skin diver of the same era, 60s. I found this on eBay for almost nothing, and it was a complete wreck. Like, the loom was destroyed, the crystal had been smashed, and it's got an ETA movement in it, but I completely rebuilt this. There's the original owner's name, Jorge Hiranda Dominguez, yes. But it's a beautiful watch, and it runs beautifully. A sub 007. Then, of course, we have this, which is the Bulova. This is the Bulova Mark II. This is an actual military-issued watch. Navy SEALs apparently had these, and I got this from the original owner, and it was, and I serviced it. It's really cool. I mean, just look at the beautiful curve of that acrylic crystal and how it matches up with the insert. Really cool watch, entirely original. Just magnificent. This is a strap I was working on. It's a work in progress. My sub, Sean Cody, helped me pick this one out. My friend who died a few weeks ago. It's a really nice watch. I considered selling this too, but Sabrina said, no, don't sell that. You can keep that. It's a good watch. Okay, so it's here. And of course, my group here. I actually wore this watch for like 3 weeks or a month not too long ago. It runs so beautifully, and it keeps such great time. And it's really unusual. I like it on this strap. Tones down the gold a little bit, but there it is. There you go. Save the best for last. Okay, next question.
We're just adding lots of stuff today.
It's true.
From Cindy Brooke. Greetings, Spencer and Sabrina. I enjoy watching your mail calls with my hubby Saul, even though I am not a watch geek. Spencer, as far as pizza goes, I think 3 days in the fridge is long enough. If you have not eaten by then, one look at dried up cheese on the crust should be enough to either grind it up or toss it in the trash. Take care, Cindy. Look what I'm wearing.
I guess. I mean, sure. Why not?
What? It's gross.
Pizza 3 days. How can it be gross?
I don't know. I'm weird about old food.
Yeah, but pizza is different.
I don't know. I used to go in my grandma's fridge and throw out like ancient salad dressing, which doesn't actually go bad, I don't think.
I don't know.
And I'm weird about old food.
Man, there was this time when I was in college, and there was a pizza place that was across the street from my dorm, and they had a giant honking dumpster that was just for pizza. And they one night, for some reason, I don't know how it happened, my friends and I were going, and we walked by it, and the whole world smelled like pizza at that point, and we were pretty drunk. But they hadn't locked their pizza place, their pizza thing. It was after hours. They had closed. We opened it up. There were 23 brand new pizzas in boxes.
Why would there be that many pizzas in the dumpster?
Because a lot
Nobody believes you.
But it absolutely happened. I couldn't believe it. I still couldn't believe it. But it's like, and most of them were almost all of them were warm. Several of them were hot. They were pizzas that hadn't been picked up at the end of the night. We took them all back to our dorm, and we had like a multi-floor pizza party. But some people had pizza. They lived on that pizza for like a week.
Well, I don't know what to tell them.
We're all still alive.
Whatever. I have standards, and I'm not a starving college student.
Drunken college student.
Yeah, drunken college student. From Troy Nacello. Parenthood, lucky you. I got my kitties, and I'm happy with them. No kids for me. Of course, my cats have peed on blankets before, so I guess... yeah. His cat peed on sheets.
Yeah, fresh laundry in a laundry basket.
I didn't feel like, I was lazy and didn't feel like folding them, and they got thrown away.
I don't know. We think it's a black cat thing.
Because we had another black cat that also peed on laundry if it wasn't put away right away.
It's true. So we think it's a black cat thing.
Yes. From Mihai Pascu, are there any other benefits of jeweling the mainspring arbor port other than longevity, maybe more steady power delivery, or other components being less stressed? Thank you.
Well, I would think the biggest thing is if you have to jewel the mainspring arbor, what it's going to do is it's going to keep the mainspring barrel where it's supposed to be. It's going to make it flat and in plane. When the lower
See, it's late.
5 o'clock. When the mainspring lower arbor wears, either arbor wears, then the whole arbor comes out of position, and then the clearances between the mainspring barrel teeth and the center wheel get all wonky, and it starts to tip, and it's really to maintain all those tight relationships.
From Dre Blunts. Hey, I was wondering, what's the most you would spend on a relatively good conditioned, many micro scratches, clean bezel, original strap version of this watch, the silver and blue?
He's talking about the SSA 003K. It's the 4R37 slide rule watch.
Oh, okay.
That I love. You just don't see them. The black dialed ones, I think they're like they seem to be holding steady when they come up, which is rarely, like $200, $300. I've never seen a blue one in the flesh. It's all a matter of if you have two people fighting for it or if nobody wants it. But probably in that 200, 300 range. I hope I'm wrong.
From Edward Harris. Hi there, I have this watch and the bezel spins quite freely with no clicking. Is yours like that? I took it off and there's no metal ring with raised wires.
He is talking, Mr. Harris, Ed Harris, is asking about 7546 70 sport diver, 150 meter sport divers, and they have a little bezel kind of like this watch here, and they're bidirectional. They have no clicks, and they don't use a wire. They have a teeny tiny O-ring gasket, so that's the way it's supposed to be. I would show you one, but here, let me see if I can get it out of the parts drawer. What?
Nothing. I never know what to say when I'm alone.
You're never alone now. Okay, so this worked out pretty well, actually. Ignore the fact that the sweep hand popped off of this thing. It's out of my parts drawers. This watch. They're cool. I need to service this one. Isn't that pretty? Mid-sized quartz diver. You're very rare to see them in this condition. I'm a terrible watch owner. I should service that watch.
You have so many watches to deal with.
They all are waiting for me to save them. God, it's getting to the point now with jobs that I've had because I had so much work in. I took in so much work in 2017 and 2018. I'm now down to 88 jobs. When I stopped taking work at the beginning of this last year, I was up to just about 200. But so I'm completing jobs now, and more than one person has written me back saying, "Oh my God, it's been 2 years. You've had my watches for 2 years." I legitimately feel terrible about that. That's actually kind of the reason I was sort of moody this evening, because somebody wrote me, this one guy, I finished his watch. He's like, "I forgot you even had it." And I feel very, very badly for people that they've had to wait for so long, but it's not their watch. It's the work in front of them. But yeah, 2 years. If your watch is still here and you're sick of waiting, please get it back from me. I don't like sitting like a hen on an egg and keeping your jobs here. 2 years, it's ridiculous.
No comment.
I just took in too much work.
Uh-huh.
I took in way too much work. I still think about February 2018. I got almost 40 jobs in that month.
It's because he couldn't say no to
I wouldn't say no to anybody. I said yes to every single job that came in. We were getting 10 plus jobs a week. Some days, some weeks. I had to buy a gun safe to hold them. And I barely was able to fit all of them in there, all the jobs.
Well, it's okay. You're ticking away.
I am, but I feel bad for the owners.
Oh, well, they can contact you or they can wait.
Yep.
Now I don't know where I was.
You're sitting next to me.
Your cat's out. I'm afraid, though, if you open the door, your children are going to be like, "Mommy!"
Oh, no, Kraken's hungry. She wants some dinner.
Nobody wanted Mommy. Thank God. Are you talking in Kraken?
I am. Okay.
From RG. Hi, SNS. My question for this Friday. 1. What's your favorite tiny chronograph model and why? You break your neck on a cat.
I'm not going to break my neck on any cats. See if I can find this one. I meant to dig this one out and then forgot. Aha! $7017-6050. I just think they're super cool. This one's unrestored. It's got an internal rotating indicator ring. See, it's only got a minute timer, but it's day date. They're cool. You don't see them very often. This one's the original bracelet. Yeah, but that's the baby. If I could find a one of the square ones, the 7016s, I'd like that. But all the ones I've seen are all so beaten up.
2 is the Seiko 7018 flyback movement, higher end than the Citizen 8110. You don't look at Citizens.
Well, you're wearing a Citizen 8110.
Ow!
I would say the Citizen is actually a little better made. The Dynie flybacks are nicely made. They're fully jeweled, but they're a little more simplified, I think, than the Citizen models. And they do the usual thing that Seiko does, is they have their mania for springs. And so everything is sort of spring pressure and spring related, spring controlled, versus Citizen, which is more bolted together. So I'd actually go with Citizen on that one.
3, what's on your current watch's wish list?
I want that Sinn 155. Oh, it looks so cool.
I don't want anything.
You don't?
I don't know. We learned about, I don't want it, but we learned about the Rula watches.
I didn't. I wasn't even aware of them.
I accidentally found out this from
East Germany is the communist bloc's greatest watch company.
Yeah, and then when the wall came down, their factory had to come down.
And I hadn't really thought about them, so we looked them up on eBay. God, you can get them for like $50. But it's like if you took Timexes, and made them into a chronograph. There's like no jewels, and they're like stamped metal. They're wacky.
And they're garbage.
There's a reason the factory closed as soon as the wall came down.
Okay. From Randy Allen, congrats on your Sinn win. Love their purposeful aesthetic. They always look the business. I didn't realize the Omega Speedy was that spendy. Thought I'd seen some for less.
This is the silver dialed Speedmaster with the blue hands.
I saw
they were $7,000.
One of the Speedmaster racings, like the first ref with the orange hands and perforated leather strap, sell for $5,400 a few days ago. My suggestion for this week is on the Omega Planet Ocean on a bracelet reference number
232-30465101-003. Let's take a look at it. It has the same coaxial goodness.
I know where I am.
You do?
And 2 subdial layout, and can be tricked into displaying a second time zone on the 3 o'clock register. And of course, it has a regular dive bezel instead of the Speedy's fixed tachymeter bezel. It's a chronometer, but not marked master chronometer, so probably not Metas certified. And all this for only $5,200 pre-owned but unworn. What?
Nothing. I'm reading the thing. Go on.
To answer your question, no, I don't live in Fort Collins, but I did. I used to ride my 67 Bonneville up to the Rustic on weekends and even rode over Cameron before it was paved. I preferred to eat at Vern's. Please don't make the lovely and talented Sabrina read all this, but if you're interested, I can tell you where that Planet Ocean is.
Is it in your sock drawer? Is it in a thrift store? Where is it? Cameron Pass before it was paved?
Oh.
Isn't that like in the 30s? Anyway, the last time we went up to Vern's was pretty disappointing. We'll have to plan ahead if we ever go out there again.
Yeah, we got a pie because I love pie.
She loves pie.
I love pie. We had Australian pies for dinner. I freaking love pies, but it was awful.
It was awful.
I was so bummed.
Yeah, some things, it's not the old days. Oh, well, I do want to show you one thing, though. Well, actually, two things. One,
You have to insert the video for that.
I'm going to after this.
Oh.
Some of you may remember my friend Sean Cody, who passed some weeks ago, and the last watch he was going to buy was a Gene Kranz, and it got lost in the mail. Like 2 weeks, like the tracking just never updated. I assumed the seller had lost it or had never tried to ship it, because they actually had a lot of negative feedback for not shipping stuff, and I'm like, they just screwed me over, or the post office lost it, or whatever. So like 2+ weeks go by, and all of a sudden I get pinged from tracking on it, because I have tracking, tell me where my package is, and it showed up at a post office more than 500 miles away from where it should have been, and it arrived today. I figured they were going to send me a dead fish because they were angry, but the actual watch is here. There it is. So I have a little video about it here. So here it is. It got lost in the mail. It finally surfaced about 500+ miles away from where it was originally mailed. Must have gotten thrown in the wrong bag or something. I'm not sure, but there it is. It's an almost Gene Kranz. Gene Kranz's actual watch was proof marked. This one is resist marked, but that's the one. You can see that the Seiko logo popped off, and it's actually underneath the crystal. It's right there. The rotating ring is completely welded in place with Gruck. It's intact. I'd be surprised if it was ever opened. But look at the lume. You see, that's what I look for when it comes to the vintage Seikos. I want to see an unrestored watch with a scratched up, banged up, beaten up crystal and white lume underneath it. But anyway, this was the last watch that my friend Sean, said that he was going to buy. And this, but for his untimely passing, this would have ended up in his collection. And I would have seen it here anyway. He would have mailed it here for me to restore it for him. But the only thing about these is that you can see that they have a silver bezel insert with black printing on top, and the black printing wears pretty heavily. So I'm going to clean that off. Kranz's own watch, I actually have, as I've shown, the auction photograph for his watch shows that his insert is actually much like this. I don't think this is the correct original bracelet. It is a Seiko bracelet, but I think it's for another model because the end links don't really fit correctly. I'll figure it out. But yeah, notice, just like as a Seiko will, baby's running. I'm looking forward to dealing with this. That should be fun. And I'm going to restore this and make its own video there. And the last thing is I just want to show, I can't get over how clean this guy's garage was that I got these MGB parts from. I can't get over it. So I want to show you one part. This is a used hub. Used. This came off of a car. This was made by MG in 1978. Look at this thing. It's perfect. This is what the tires look like. I mean, like the tread on the tires, like the tires, they don't have dust on them. Like the inside of the wire wheels and stuff, it looks like you put it through the dishwasher. It blows my mind. And the ones that are on the car are just these rusty pieces of junk. This is bananas. And I can't believe it. And he just didn't want them anymore because he didn't need them. And we sat there and chatted about cars and all kinds of different stuff. He was the same age as me. He listened to the same era of music as me. It was going to be funky. There's going to be some fun happening once the weather changes.
Yes, it's cold.
It is cold. We do have is an actual storm coming in?
I haven't looked at the weather.
It's nasty out. Okay. Well, that's it. I'm losing my voice. And so I'm going to be done. And that's it. All right. Have a happy weekend. Bye folks.